All right, let's do this. It is April 13th, Monday, 2026. So let's just start with the S&P. So we started a little bit weak this morning, but you could even see in pre-market the declines were tiny, tiny little declines. We're talking about 30 odd points. We got down to 67.90. That was it. It didn't take long for us to see equities turn positive, and S&P climbed all the way into the close, settling up basically a percent at 68.86, which is 4 points below the upper Bollinger, but that's going to be around 6,900. So all else being equal, Tuesday starts positive, and yeah, today's candle was bullish engulfing. I've seen a few of them lately. There's one. Technically, that one there is also bullish engulfing. Anyway, MACD is on the high end. We're not overbought yet. There's no sign of a turn yet. So yeah, short-term bullish for at least for probably early Tuesday. And look, we're not far off from the January historic high 7,002. Incredible. Just a quick brief look at the VIX. Early high, full reversal. So today's candle's bearish engulfing, which is an appropriate mirror to the bullish engulfing candle in the S&P. So probably going to be looking at 18 VIXs tomorrow, at least briefly. Then, of course, on the flip side, we should be looking for at least 21s to 22s either tomorrow in the afternoon or maybe on Wednesday. If not, well, there's always Thursday. And this gap goes up to 25. So plenty of room for a bounce later in the week. Cyclically, we're on the very low end. So come all the way down, and this is where we should be finding a floor. But keep in mind that Wednesday is VIX OPEX and Friday is equity OPEX. So, all right, let's jump through some individual charts and flash through them as quickly as we can go. Apple struggled, 0.5% down. You could argue there's a baby bull flag in Agnico Eagle. I mean, it is a baby bull flag. American Eagle, it's struck not a great. I mean, relative to the S&P, this is terrible. Down 1.3%. I mean, yeah, but today's candle's spiky, and but it's not technically a reversal. Well, it's sort of, but it's not a hollow red reversal. Anyway, retail's not great. First Majestic Silver was up 1%, but again, look, it's a mess. AMD up 0.7. I need to adjust that gap because it's been filled. You know what I need? I need an AI program that will adjust my gaps automatically and move stuff around a little bit. Also, of course, you got to wonder if we see any price action in AMD above 268, that would be a very bullish. I mean, broadly, it's a chop fest, right? Even here, it's just chop, jumps on earnings, chops around, drops on earnings, chops around. So it's other than the earnings gaps here, it doesn't do anything. Not great. Amazon choppy, leaning up though. Nothing particularly bearish there. American Express, yeah, early weakness, but we had a massive upside reversal. That is a bullish engulfing candle above the 50-day, which we haven't had a close above the 50-day since early January, which was when it maxed out with a double top from 385s and then gap down on, I guess that's earnings there, right? Yep, that'll be earnings. And it never did recover, and it stalled at the 50-day. And now we're breaking above. So I could accept. You could think, okay, we're gonna fill green gap to 335 with the 200 day at 333. So we have $10 upside. Maybe tomorrow. I guess they have earnings next week, by the way. Probably on a Friday. Boeing, bullish engulfing candle. Bank of America, bullish engulfing candle. BlackRock, bullish engulfing candle. Green gap effectively filled. BlackRock has earnings tomorrow. Oh, I can never remember. Which one is it? Yeah, BlackRock does have earnings tomorrow. I just checked. All right. Blackstone, also another financial that has a break above the 50-day. They're all doing this. The structure is very similar. Or you could argue that's a breakout candle. And you could argue next target is around 133-ish. Yeah, 133, which is $12 up, which is 10%. Caterpillar, that's probably a marginal, fractional new historic high. Yep. Yumiko up 0.5%. Don't care. Carnival, reversal candle, bullish. Friday's black candle played out. So Coinbase up 4%. Don't care about Deckers. Disney up 2%, challenging key price threshold of 101s. Energy stocks cooling back because of oil cooled back today. We'll look at oil and gold and silver later. Gotta keep an eye on this. If Freeport prints above $70, that would be a new historic high and would be about pretty bullish. Google, you can argue short-term structures a baby bull flag. Home Depot, bullish engulfing candle with a spike from orange gap. That's bullish for early Tuesday. Intel, pure lunacy. This stock's up like 55% in 10 trading days. 4.5% to 65.18. This was $40 2 weeks ago. JP Morgan, which has earnings early Tuesday, which will be good. Today's candle's bullish engulfing. I would expect initial upside on Tuesday, but I would be mindful we have a downside gap. And I'm going to mark it on here. So we have lots. Look at all the MAs, the 10 MA, the 50-day, the 10 MA. So if we do open up or we're up in pre-market, I would be mindful of a downside reversal. They love selling the fins on earnings. KKR up 7.6%. God, am I glad I got out of this one at the open. I mean, you can argue we're at the top end of the bear flag. But again, like the other financials, it's above the 50-day. And it was a big gain. This is probably the best gain in, it could be the best gain in a year. Maybe. Maybe that one was. Anyway, it's a big gain. It spooks me a bit, and I'm glad to be out of it. Not much to say there. Just cooling back with oil. Chop. Chop. Microsoft up 3.5%. I would accept a green gap would be an issue. That would be the most bullish target right now. Of course, if that's the case, implications for the main market, right? I mean, 438 is $54 up, which is about 15%. Might go up 1%. Netflix, which of course has earnings on Thursday after hours, which should be fine. Um, Look at the resistance here. We have a gap from 106.09. We have a 200-day. We also have this price threshold from around 106 as well. So massive resistance, $2-3 up, and we do have like half a purple gap never got filled, and of course the 50-day is down around $90. So I think the risk is that you go up to here and then cool back to $90. Nike did close up, but that's a lower high, lower low. Terrible. Nvidia up 0.4 again. Really, it's just broad chop. On to set an upside reversal. A black candle for Oxy. Pan American Silver, that's a reversal candle. Short-term bullish. Palantir up 3.4%. Friday's candle was spiky and a reversal candle. So that played out bullish for early Tuesday. Nasty PayPal's up 5%. Spurious, mostly a lot of chop. You could argue it's got to come up to fill teal gap to $52 or so. Rarely, though, the stock is a midterm, long-term zombie stock. Red Cat 4%, just bouncing with the main market. Rocket Lab 3.8. I still think this is going to come down to $40, but that's a long way down. And I accept that's borderline crazy talk. SMR bouncing. Target. Yeah, they were selling off the big retail names today. Costco, Walmart, Target. I would note that if it loses the 50-day, that would offer maybe 103, where the 200-day will be in early May. Tesla, up 1%. But again, how many times in the last few months have we seen 2 or 3 days of upside, and every time they keep rolling it over? This is not good. United Airlines, which of course I was short this morning, and I closed out at well, somewhere around here in the middle. So settled down 1.2%. Today's candle is a hollow red reversal hammer candle, which leans bullish for tomorrow. So maybe we'll come back up here to the around $100. We have the 50-day, the 200-day. So that's $4-5 up. I mean, broadly, structures, price action's a real mess. But yeah, short-term bullish for early Tuesday. United Health, you could argue baby bull flag. UPS, don't care right now. Exxon, black candle, short-term bearish. All right, let's just jump to silver, gold, and oil. I start with GLD. It was weak in the early morning. We have a reversal candle that leans bullish for early Tuesday. Probably going to tag either the 50-day and green gap. I do not think it can go any higher than any of this. This is where it should. You could even argue that structure is a multi-week bear flag, and that when this breaks, it'll come down to at least around here. So bullish for initially Tuesday, but more broadly bearish. Silver's kind of similar. Reversal candle today. Bullish for early Tuesday, but structures are going to be a multi-week bear flag. And finally, oil. Let's start with commodity oil. So we had an overnight high of 105.63. We called to 97.03. We officially settled up what's that? $1.46, 1.5% at 98.03. Today's candle is black, it's spiky, and leans bearish for early Tuesday. But cyclically, we're on the low end. So I don't expect much lower, but that is a black candle, so probably bearish for early Tuesday. Again, on a weekly black candle, but you know, I struggled. I think a lot of this is just basically consolidation and swings on relentless war headlines. More broadly, I gotta think we're gonna take out the 119s, and we could easily take out the 119s either later this week or next Monday. And after 119, you're looking at 126, and then 147. And finally, let's look at USO. We'll look at a daily chart. Again, black candle, bearish for early Tuesday. You got Fridays. Friday was very subdued. You got to wonder, can we get down to this little purple gap that wasn't fully filled? That looks too difficult. I think we'll probably be down maybe 1 or 2% tomorrow morning, and then whipsaw up to maybe challenge this high, which was 141. Wow. But yeah, and cyclically we're on the low end. The gold will be buying. Also on an hourly chart, in fact, I actually want to start with a 5 minute. Let's go to a 5 minute because I want to talk about what I did in the morning. I was long oil across the weekend, of course. I went long. Yeah, I went long on Friday. Yeah, this early Friday. What did I do? I went long. I think I went long around here. That's right, because it went down after I bought it. Then it rebounded and then kind of leaned weak into the late Friday. And of course, today jumped. But look at this. This is the point. Black candle. We had a little bit of chop for 10 minutes and then bam. 133 to 129. It did rebound to 133 again. We can even argue micro double top. And then they ground it down all the way into the late afternoon. 127s. So yeah, I got out around 133. Not quite. I didn't get. Actually, you know what? I probably got out at 133.20 because, yeah, I got out when the candle was like tiny. So I got out basically 20 cents on the high, and it's closed at 128.47, which is $5 below where I sold it. Now I'm gonna hope that Tuesday opens down somewhere around 125s, 124s. Would be nice. I wouldn't worry about these cycles, but you can even see it on the hourly chart. Opening candle was black, chop, 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 leaning weak. We do have partly this gap to fill. Doesn't have to. And orange gap, I'd expect that's just too far down. Momentum is weakening. It might even turn briefly negative tomorrow. I don't think we're going to have any kind of downwave like that. Not now. Yeah. So maybe a little bit weak early Tuesday, and then resuming upwards for Wednesday, Thursday. So, in theory, equities will start tomorrow positive, VIX will be down, oil will be down, and for me that would be good. And we'll maybe look for a turnaround Tuesday. That'd be kind of nice. And we'll leave it there. Have a good evening and a fun Tuesday.